So I'm going to start off with asking the Jumbo team. So we've got Bobby on today, who's going to be answering our questions. I'm going to start off with asking him some questions, and then towards the end, we'll open the floor up to some questions from the community. So feel free to ask questions. Yeah, we'll get them answered for you. So that's what this AMA is for, and that's what we're trying to do, just get you a bit more involved, a bit more associated with this project. So to start with, I'm just going to introduce who we are and what we're doing today on today's AMA. So I'm Shyla, I'm community lead at UpLift. So most of you have heard my voice already and have seen me before, I guess. And then today we've got joining us Bobby, who is the co-founder of Jumbo. So as you are aware, Jumbo was our second IDO, and we had a very successful IDO with Jumbo. And yeah, we're hoping to find out everything that we can, or some more information about Jumbo. So just to start us off, Bobby, could you tell us a bit about yourself, your role, and yeah, how you sort of met the team, and what got you started on this project?
So basically, my role in the Jumbo is, as you mentioned, being co-founder, which involves making connections and, in general, leading business development kind of department. So, how we basically met with my current team is we actually have been working on Solana blockchain for quite some time. We have been working on some projects on Solana. So we have decided to transition to near ecosystem. There are a couple of reasons for that. I think we'll get into the details why near and what makes it, stand out within the, cryptocurrency space. But yes, so that's a little bit of a background for myself and my team.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I didn't even say at the beginning, but thank you so much for joining us today as well, taking the time out to go through some important information with us today. So thank you for that.
No
So,
worries, no worries. My
thank
pleasure.
you. Good. So, yeah, as you're aware, Jumbo was our second IDO. So I'm interested to know, and I'm sure our listeners are too, we're interested to know more about what's happening in the world of Jumbo and what new updates have you got for us since your very successful IDO?
Yeah, so basically, as you mentioned, the IDO was successful. It was great to see you guys helping us in a major way throughout the, fundraising stage. It was a pleasure working with you guys. So basically, I'd say that after we have concluded all of the IDOs, we actually started to secure private investments and seed investments from the VCs, venture capitalists. So we are still in the process of securing some of the investments. We have been backed by a couple of notable ones, being Alameda and Genblock Capital. We are still in talks with some of the VCs at this current moment. And we actually will close our seed and general investment round in the course of the next week. So we'll be looking forward to that myself personally. Hope you guys also will be excited to know our future partners. I hope they will astound you. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing more of those, but the ones that you mentioned earlier just now, Chain Capital, etc., they sound really good as well. So that is really exciting to be on board, Jumbo, when you've got such, notable backers. So thank you for sharing that information with us. So I'm sure some of the community are very excited to hear about all the updates that you've got coming and the new partnership. So hopefully you can keep us posted with that, and we'll keep posting them in our channels too. I know that we'll have some new faces in the audience, however. So those in the community who aren't already aware of what Jumbo is, could you give us a little more insight into what Jumbo is all about, or like a little elevator pitch, perhaps? Maybe like 30 seconds max, basically. How would you summarize what Jumbo is?
Stages of the technological side and technology in general, I'd say that I would describe our project just in simple terms. It's an AMM DEX, decentralized exchange. which allows you to trade your assets in the disintermediated manner, meaning that you don't need to interact with centralized authority in any way. So the kind of standout features of our exchange and what we put value into is the user experience and user interface side. So we kind of value to the utmost, extend the end user convenience of end user and in general the experience they will have on our DEX. So in order to achieve that, we actually partnered with the said VCs that will bring us liquidity that we need so that end users won't have problems trading their assets. And also we are implementing some of the visual features that will help you to get better APYs and you in general better getting your bearings straight on our platform. So that's what we are putting value into. That wasn't a 30-second speech, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. That makes sense to me. So basically, what you're saying is currently the options that we've got out there are not very user friendly. And what you're doing is you're building a really
Yeah,
good UI
yeah, yeah.
that will
I'd say that in the near ecosystem in general, you are kind of limited to only one DEX currently, and we are as in some sense, trying to be competitors to that DEX, and I think the competition in general kind of leads to the innovation, and hopefully we can achieve that, and
okay.
it will be beneficial to the whole ecosystem.
That's brilliant. So yeah, so what you're saying, you're providing something to Nia itself, like the whole ecosystem,
Sure,
something that
sure, sure.
yeah,
Hmm.
brilliant. So yeah, okay. So leading on to that, we know that you built on Nia and backed by the Nia Foundation, which is great. Could you tell us a bit more about this and why you think Nia is a perfect choice for Jumbo and what it means for the future of Jumbo?
Yeah, beside the blockchain technology that Near have developed throughout the years, they have also been, quite, how would I put it, quite great in helping the ecosystem in general. So they have been a tremendous help in connecting us with within the ecosystem as well as externally with the VCs and in general establishing connections with people within the blockchain space. Since we don't have actually, the coverage, the connections that uh, we can in order for us to grow. So it was great to have Near on our side, not only as a bystander, but also as the having direct involvement in our project by investing actually in our project. So it's great to have Near on our side in this regard. So if I were to divide into what Near have been helpful with, I would say that is connections and general advice. They have been great advisors, and we value their input to the utmost degree. So yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's really good news to know that, Jumbo are not Jumbo, Nia are helping,
Hmm.
and supporting the project. And so that sounds very promising for the future of Jumbo as well, when you've got,
Hmm.
something as big as Nia supporting you. So that's fantastic. So I understand that through your partnership with Happy, Jumbo is the only DEX that has anti-money laundering measures implemented. So can you tell us a bit more about this and what it means for the users and projects that are listed on Jumbo?
The very simple and simplified version of what Happy does is basically that it helps us to prevent some cases of money laundering, as you mentioned, and this is achieved in a couple of steps. Firstly, they trace the blockchain activity, which is great if you are to prevent any cases of hacks, exploits, and what comes from that. And also they are helping us directly by we call the we read their smart contract, which is supplied with data from off-chain data providers. That's a lot of funky words, but the basic idea is that you get information from off-chain, get it on-chain, and you have the all of the wallet address, malicious wallet address, and all of the activity interactions that these wallet addresses had, and basically in that way you can prevent money laundering. And the great thing about Happy is that it is basically decentralized. You are integrating their smart contracts in some way and get the decentralized kind of solution alternative to the regulations that as from my perspective they are inevitably will be coming in some way. So we are just trying to be secure about that and also securing the funds of our users.
Okay, perfect. Everybody knows how important security is, especially with all these, hacks and things that we hear about. So
Exactly,
yeah, it's paramount. So that's again, it's reassuring to know that you're taking these measures, you're partnering with the right people to ensure the utmost security for your platform. So to ensure, the longevity and the success of Jumbo. So perfect. Thank you for that. And the other thing is, right, so going, I know that you've been trying to keep it simple so far, but I think I'm going to get a bit more technical now, because some of the really interesting features of Jumbo that sets it apart from other, AMM dexes is that you've got these smart pool features, jets. Can you tell us a bit more about some of these features, what they mean and how they all work in practice?
You don't actually need to go very technically into that. I think I can explain it on basic level. So the
Yep.
idea is that you, for example, have your stake on one of our pools, which is great. You have stake, and most of the gripes that people have is to have these workflow of unstaking and then staking again, and that takes time and effort and all of that stuff that people nowadays are not used to do, especially outside crypto. So our idea is to basically simplify that to the degree that would benefit end user, as we put a lot of value into that. So the idea is that you can, with the smart pool technology, migrate your stake to basically other more profitable, for example, stake without unstaking your current stake, liquidity stake. So basically, you're clicking one button and you can migrate your liquidity just by clicking one button, and that's it. So that's the simplified way of putting it.
Very good. So, like you said, you're making it user friendly and you're making it more intuitive than what's already out there. Because if we compare it to the likes of Uniswap or something like that, you would have to unstake, pay a fee, and then stake again, pay a fee. But obviously, we're doing that, comparing it to something like Nia, you've got less fees anyway, but you're also making it seamless with these added features. So you can just go from one pool to another without having to unstake.
Sorry to interject. That's exactly why we have chosen near in some sense. So they have this feature called predictable pricing fee, if I'm not mistaken. So the idea is that you can interact within the smart contract. So that's also one of the features of Near, and DEX is built on Near, that you actually need to deposit your assets to the DEX. So by depositing your assets to the DEX, you basically can interact within the platform, within the DEX, almost with no fees. So you pay once, for example, so to speak, for entry, and then you basically are not imposed of any fees or negligible ones. Yeah.
Brilliant. So once you're in the system, you're sort of mobile and you can move about as long as much as you want, essentially, until you sort of exit anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Excellent. Sounds good. Sounds really good. So the another thing that caught my attention on when looking at your roadmap was that in Q3, you've got an introduction of liquidity pools with NFT rewards. Now that sounds really exciting to me, especially because we know that there's a massive buzz around NFTs at the moment. So could you speak a bit more about this feature? How will it work, and what kind of NFTs do you have in mind? And yeah, how will people sort of earn those?
I think it's fair to mention that we put a lot of effort in our brand image. So we think that improving and and growing in this aspect is really something that we aspire to do. So the implementation of NFTs in some way is kind of the ramification for our, business side of things. So the idea is that we want to, branch out to the NFT for the sake of getting people more involved and more personally engaged with our platform. So, for example, how it will work? You will stake again in one of our pools. One of those pools will actually be, decorated, for example, with some specific imagery. You will see that, and it will mean that you will get something besides your APYs and so on. You will actually get limited NFTs that will only be applicable to the pool in question. So yeah, that's basically our idea, to incentivize users to stake in a certain pool, get more than just APYs and percentages on their stake, but also get NFTs as a reward and maybe a little bit more. So yeah.
Okay. So just one question I've got on the back of that, because you said there'd be limited amount of NFTs. Is the amount of NFTs determined before the liquidity pool, or are the NFTs minted after people have sort of come into the liquidity pool and you think, oh, we're going to have X amount based on the amount of people that we've got in the liquidity pool?
Yeah, we're planning to do that beforehand. So, for example, we'll have announcement about having this liquidity, this stake, this pool that you can stake with, and basically get this certain amount of NFTs, and those that will stake first basically will get those limited editions. So that's our perspective on that.
Yeah, I prefer that way, because that way they're more sort of limited and more valuable than just minting after how many people are there. Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that. That sounds really interesting. So can't wait to actually see that in action. I'd like to talk a bit about your token utility now. We know that it's got governance utility and incentivization. So we are familiar with governance, but could you expand a bit on the incentivization and what that means for your token holders?
Those uninitiated with crypto economics, I'd like to kind of mention that incentivization in part means that when you get some project on your platform, in our case DEX, you need to get them incentivized in order for them, to get also something from being something from the fact of being on your platform. So the incentivization part is both to incentivize users from the project that you are on for the projects that you are onboarding, as well as you incentivize them to also get something from that. So it's kind of two mutually beneficial in some way. So incentivization is basically that you get some of the tokens, share of your tokens, and get the emission rate tuned, so people staking for that pool can get something from that additionally. So that, in very complicated terms, I might have butchered a bit. So yeah, that's the basic idea.
Okay, brilliant. That's really helpful for that explanation. So thank you for that. So that's all the questions from me. So thank you so much for answering all of those. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the questions to the community members. So if you've got any questions, you just need to request mic, and then I'll see if I can get you on stage. Usually Alex has some questions at this point, but anybody else?
Can open up with a question. Hi, thank you for being here. So first question, you've talked a bit about incentivization, right? But how are there any fee mechanism or burn/buyback mechanism that you would use on your platform to make sure you reduce the token supply or something like that?
Yeah, right now we have no, intention to get our token to be deflationary in any capacity. So I think we'll stick to the fixed total supply. Our fixed total supply currently is 10 million, so we are not going to be deviating from that at least at this point. We have a system for kind of like sushi swap, if you are familiar with that. We actually
Master Chef,
accrue,
right?
yeah, we accrue the fees from transactions and basically distribute them to users, and they get some rewards from that, but no deflationary mechanism is in place.
And what's your intended transaction fee?
Sorry, what?
What's your swap fee? The fee that you've mentioned. What is the number?
That you will see as we will release. I'm not sure I can disclose that at the moment. Sorry.
Okay, have we got any more questions? I've got Inyo J here who wants to ask a question. So, Alex, do you have any more questions, or should I bring a member of the audience up?
Oh, let's bring Neo J first.
Let's go. Neo, are you there? There we go.
All right. Hello, Shaila.
Hello. How's it going? What's your question? What's your question?
Thank God. Thank God. I want to ask on which exchange will it be listed to, because I was not able to get the token during the IDO period. They were too fast than me. So now, on how will I get the token, and on which exchange will I get it?
Okay, he's asking what exchange will it be? Yeah, released on initially.
Right after the token generation event, which will happen on 15th of February, we will have our token listed immediately on the centralized exchange. I can't disclose which one exactly, but it will be the top 10 one. Yeah.
Okay. You can't disclose it for now. Okay, but the information will be released to us on before 15th.
I suppose, yeah, but like 1 day before.
Okay, it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
All right. Thank you for your question, Inyo. Moving you back to audience. Got somebody else who wants to ask questions. Thank you for answering that. So that's really exciting that you're going to be on a centralized exchange as soon after your TGE, I'm guessing. Got an audience member here. The Golden Bull. What's your question? Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm the Golden Bull, and I just wanted to ask if, since you had a partnership with Alameda Research, who's owned by the founder of FTX, do you see yourself, besides getting liquidity from them, also being able to, in the future, being on the platform of FTX?
So the idea of and what we have structured kind of our onboarding of VCs in general is that we want to get not that much of a, being heavily funded, but the idea is to get liquidity for our exchange. So the idea is to become the most liquid DEX on NEAR and in general, so that people have a great experience interacting with our platform. So Alameda, in that sense, can prop us up with the heavy stable coin liquidity, which we certainly will need. In regards to the FTX, I think that they might be helpful in that regard also, but I'm not going to make any bets or make any promises. I hope you can understand why.
Oh yeah, of course, definitely. Also, since you're interoperable with Rainbow Bridge, which is built by the devs of NEAR for Aurora, do you see yourself also having bridges with Allbridge to, say, like Solana or any other Rust type, platforms?
Yeah, we actually partnered with Allbridge team and Rainbow Bridge for the sake of getting liquidity also from the other networks. So the idea is that we will have wrapped tokens from the other ecosystems on our DEX, so that we can increase, general attractiveness of our DEX and get more people involved on our platform. We will also be, incentivizing some of those tokens from other ecosystems. We have already signed a couple of agreements on that site, so I think you will be excited to see what we will bring to the near ecosystem in general from other chains.
All right. Thank you for asking. Thank you for answering my questions, Bobby.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for your question, Golden Bull. I'm feeling saying that, but I'm going to move it back down to the audience now. Thank you. Okay, next question from Kung Fu. No? Are you there? Kung Fu. There we go. You made it. We can't hear you.
Hello, don't be shy.
Yeah, maybe their mic's down. He's unmuted. No? Okay, sorry, Kung Fu. I think you're having technical difficulties, and maybe you can, I don't know, text the question in general chat. And if you're quick enough, I'll maybe be able to catch the question and pass it on to Bobby.
At least his profile picture is great. I mean,
yeah, epic. You got to show that off. That's something. Okay. Well, I'll just seeing if he's typing anything in here. No. Nope. Okay. Okay, no worries. There are technical difficulties. Maybe next time. Okay, so that I think brings us to the end of that AMA. So thanks so much for that update, Bobby, because obviously a lot of us have if we haven't had the chance to invest in Jumbo, we certainly have heard about it, and we certainly have been excited to, know more about when the TGE is and, what you've got planned, etc. So thank you so much for all of those updates. For those people who, it sounds really silly me saying this because those people who have missed it and they're not here, but we do record these AMAs and we will be sharing it in a few hours so that you can listen back to anything if you missed it, if you want to go over it. And if you didn't get to ask your question and you still have a question, please feel free to ask in the channels. The other thing I just wanted to remind you is that we've got a content creation competition going on. So if you head over to the content creation competition channel, you'll see the rules there, and that's where we're inviting everybody to have a go at creating some content to promote UpLift. And also this is kind of exclusive because we haven't posted it yet, but straight after this AMA I'm going to be posting the ambassador application form. So we are opening up our ambassador campaign, and we're just getting to know our community, I guess. Initially, I just want to know who's interested and what you can offer, and then we'll launch the campaign after that. But we'll need to fill in, community members will need to fill in the form, which we're going to post in the announcement channels straight after this AMA. So thank you again, everybody who has joined us today, and we'll see you in Discord and Telegram. And thank you so much, Bobby, for joining us today. Really, really appreciate you taking your time to speak to us and answer our questions and answering our community questions. Is there anything else you wanted to add before you go?
I just wanted to say, hope I haven't been much of a bore and you had at least some fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's good insight. So you got to know your VCs, got to know about, how the DEX is going to work and how it sets itself apart from its competitors. So that's something that, really interested in knowing about all of our projects. We need to know what their, unique value they bring to the table. So thank you so much for giving us that insight. And thank you everybody for your questions. And again, see you in Discord and Telegram. Thank you again for joining us, and watch out for the Google form that's going to go out straight after this AMA. Thank you. Catch you later. Bye.